Welcome to another episode in the District 6 Museum Vusalela Ons Leicester podcast series. In this podcast, we explore a different side of forced removals. Often, when we talk about forced removals, we hear stories of people packing up their belongings, loading those belongings onto trucks, and arriving at locations unknown to them. But this time around, we heard a different kind of story. In this podcast, we listen to David and Mabel Bam, siblings who grew up at number 18 Mackenzie Street in District 6.
The house was made a double-story house.
Yes.
It was upstairs. There was 2 rooms upstairs where the stairs, a big kitchen, and in the yard, and then we had a dining room downstairs, big room upstairs. It was so that windows had to pull up, up the vensters. Yeah. And then we had a dining, only 2 rooms. My mother's sister used to stay downstairs in a dining room, but they made it a room. And then we had some kind of an uncle who would stay there in another room. Then we was all staying in a one room. Me and my elder sister used to sleep by my granny downstairs. And it was very hard for us because that time it was hardships. Yeah. If my auntie used to fight and there's no food in the house and she and her husband fight and we stand in the yard, when she throw the husband with the meat or the potatoes, we catch it here. Sunday, then we just make the food, hours of food, make the food and give a plate of food. But it's from our own stuff they were fighting with.
David and Mabel Bam grew up with their mother and their siblings, their aunt and their cousins, and their grandmother. They all lived in one double-story home in Mackenzie Street. And while they did have their fair share of challenges, they were happy. This all changed on the 11th of February 1966, the day District 6 was declared a white group area.
Then the group took over and then they said we must move. They sent a big truck. And that, you know, that old teacher truck, but they toot. Then they moved us to Mellon, and then we had to, my elder sister still stayed in Mackenzie Street. She didn't want to move.
The Bam family was forcibly removed to Mannenberg, but not everyone in the family wanted to leave District 6.
And my sister was staying there in District, and then she moved out. And then my brother, there's another story. He didn't move out. When I broke down this house, then he moved to the next house.
Yeah.
We call it the Broken Palaces.
Yeah.
We had Christmas lunch. Me and my cousin go and visit them there. And then she was staying there. And my sister. The children is there in Mannenberg.
My mother. Yeah, my mother.
They don't want to move out.
We didn't want to move out of
then
the
we said Christmas, we had a lunch.
Yeah.
Not Mackenzie.
The first Mackenzie Street.
Yeah,
it was first Mackenzie Street. Then they called the police to throw us out. So we called the police with stones. They can force here because we were born here.
Yeah.
You can't come and just say we must.
So where did you stay after?
They stayed in Mannenberg. But
okay.
So we still stayed there. My sister, my elder sister,
Yes,
we went to go visit us. So I still stayed there.
They lived in the broken palaces of District 6, the deserted homes of those who had already been forced out. At the time, David had moved with his mother and younger siblings to Mannenberg. His older siblings traveled between Mannenberg and District 6, and only during the school holidays did the younger siblings and children return to District 6 for a visit.
They come there, they just have a weekend, poop, next Monday is Monday, poop, they're gone again.
Yeah, my mother sent her children on school holidays to us. But we were strollers, like strollers. But the places it was double-story houses.
Yeah.
Then we break down the bottom, but we staying upstairs, but very clean. Very clean now. We washing in the people's yard. Perhaps people still saying the opposite. You can still wash your clothes quickly there and hang it on the line. People
So you were staying like so-called illegally there?
Yeah, but hulle kan nie vir ons legally uitsit because wat wil julle days afgooi? Give us a chance to move to the next house. Julle gaan nie vir ons nou uitgaan is wat daar next door en till there was Nabis. Me and my sister were the last that still strolled in District 6.
They stayed behind in their family home despite the threats they received from police officers. They stayed in spite of the bulldozers moving in to demolish the area. They moved from one house to the next, selling building materials they collected from abandoned homes to make ends meet.
We had a chummy that used to say in Kensington, then he comes, then he say, okay, he needs 50 bulks. You know, this bulk. No? I was the foreman of it. And then we used to... dan moet hy in District 6, whether as is now demolished, then we take out the bulk. But I don't forward say it, I will take bulkets, and then the baksteen, you want now the bricks, 500 bricks. And I don't go buy, so up all that bricks to get nice bricks, you know. And I don't, that is not room about saying, how much did we charge for 500 each a brick, because it's hard work, most now, yeah.
The stories of David and Mabel Bam reveal the complexities of forced removals. The experience of forced removals is different to the stories we normally hear. Their resistance takes on a different form when compared to the rallies, protests, and campaigns of the anti-apartheid struggle. As residents were evicted and forced to build new lives in new communities, they stayed behind, outwitting the bulldozers one house at a time. I'm Lisa Hendricks, and you're listening to another episode in the District 6 Museum Vusalela Ons Luister podcast series. No matter where we are here. The audio snippets used in this podcast are taken from the District 6 Museum archive. The stories produced through this podcast series and the opinions and statements that may be contained herein do not reflect those of the District 6 Museum, but rather the individuals hosted within this series. This program is funded by the Mellon Foundation.